Welcome back to another Walk It Out Wednesday with Coach T. And here's where I try to give you some words to live by so that as we are walking out this journey called life, we're going to get better at that walk. And of course, you know, I am the Coach T. All right. So in Act 1, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's play, Hamlet, the character Polonius gives his son some parting advice as he is about to take a journey to another country. Among a string of words or paragraph, he says to him at some point, "To thine own self be true." Now, this is a familiar adage. It's become a household adage. And let me tell you what it's really, really meaning. It's really, really meaning. Polonius is telling his son, even though you're about to go away, I don't want you to forget what I've instilled in you. As a matter of fact, I want you to remember who you are so that you don't start doing and saying things that go against your nature. The Bible puts it this way. In Proverbs 3:3, it says, "Do not let truth and mercy leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart." Now, the author, King Solomon, who is actually known for his wisdom, he's known for being the most wise kings in biblical history. And in this text, he's actually giving advice to his son, right? So in the same way that Polonius is telling his son, don't forget what you know, King Solomon is advising to hold on to the truth that you know, right? And then he's going to take this a step further because he's actually going to tell them how to do it. He says, tie this truth around your neck. So what that really is referencing is almost likened to tie it around your neck like you would a collar or a harness, right? Because a harness or a collar serves as a way for you to have a guide. So if you put it around your neck as a collar or a harness, it actually serves as your own personal guide, aka your code of ethics. Okay? Then King Solomon is super wise again. He's going to take this a step further. He says, write this truth on the tablet of your heart. That's so that it becomes a part of your DNA, right? Now you're asking, why is this important, Coach T? Because Luke 45:6 tells us that we do what it is that is in our heart to do. And believing that's true, which I do because I believe the word of God, then it makes perfect sense that both Polonius and King Solomon would share this little tidbit of information and wisdom with their sons as they are about to embark on their journey to and through adulthood. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I ain't tuning in for a historical literature playwright lesson, nor did I tune in for a Bible study lesson right tonight. Okay, you're right. But I wanted to make sure that I lay a framework, the right framework, or a sound framework for tonight's topic, because it deals directly with being true to who you are at your core, right? No matter what is happening. So be it a situation, be it a circumstance, be it a person. I am starting to realize that it's not enough just to encourage you to just be yourself, because that's all about being comfortable with your personality, your character, your gifts and your talents, your skill set. But you also need to be true to your own belief and value system, to your moral code of ethics, to this fully aligned mindset you've been working so hard to change and make sure that lines up with everything else that you want to do in your life and your goals and your purpose. What if I told you that everything you've learned and processed mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually, has created the foundation for the belief and value system which developed this moral code of ethics and standards that govern your every move in life. Would you believe that? Well, I'm going to tell you this. It's actually true. It's the very thing that you rely on to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. And every time you forsake it, you probably end up in a pickle of some sort, right? Something goes wrong, right? Let me tell you why that is. Whenever it is that people, situations, or circumstances can make you do or say things that clearly go against your beliefs, your values, and your code of ethics, you are in violation to yourself. I'm going to say it again. You are in violation to yourself. Every time you abandon the truth that you know and understand and believe, you will always most probably suffer some consequences because you weren't operating in the truth of what you know is righteous. And let's just be clear. Righteousness is not just some religious word that people like to throw around. It simply means doing the right thing, doing what you know and believe to be right. If it goes against your moral code to smoke and someone offers you a cigarette, guess what? And you smoke it anyway, you just violated yourself. You just violated yourself. And if you should still happen to choke, then that's probably what you get. Okay? If it goes against your values to attend a first date at a man's house, and you accept the invitation, and you actually make an appearance anyway, guess what? You just violated yourself. And if you start pulling out the octopus hands on you, I just want you to know, you walked yourself right on into that one. Okay? Eyes wide open. You really, really did. If it's against your beliefs to engage in thruples, this little polyamorous world lifestyle, everybody want to act like it's so great and wonderful. Hey, to each his own, y'all do what y'all want to do. But you lied and said, yes, baby, I'm completely cool with that. Knowing good and full well, you believe in one-on-one commitments. You don't want but one partner and you don't want to share. If you said yes to that, then guess what? Say it with me. You just violated yourself. And you need not believe you can turn this ship backwards, honey, once you forge in that direction. So don't be surprised when they tell you they don't want to go back to the way it was before. Don't get upset when they tell you that I'm not going back to the way it used to be. And now you got a decision to make, a decision to make. You got a decision to make because you got to decide if you're going to stay or go. I'm going to tell you, I think you set yourself up for that. You set yourself up for that. If it's against your values to be friends with benefits and you accept the status with the hope that it will transition into a committed relationship, then guess what? You just violated yourself. You did. You did. I think I'm starting to realize that that's what they mean by saying you played yourself. That's what you did. You violated yourself. You played yourself. So when you realize 2 years later, you just good for a booty call, don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at him and pretend he strung you along. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. He didn't string you along. You heard what you wanted to hear, not what it was said. And there is a difference. If it goes against your belief system to live with someone and not be married, and you move in anyway, pack your little bags on up and give up your apartment and move in anyway, say it again with me, you just violated yourself. And you cannot get mad when he reminds you that he never wanted to get married and you still in this relationship 5 years later. And he reminds you that he ain't never want to get married in the first place. And he also reminds you that you said you was cool with that. You just want to be with him. Don't be surprised if he tell you, I'm not changing my mind. And don't be surprised if he invites you to the door if it's now become your deal breaker. Okay? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You convinced yourself that eventually his love for you would make him conform to what you wanted. Let me just dispel all of these notions for you in case you've been confused and unsure. Let me just let you know right now. Just because you're willing to violate yourself to be engaged with somebody or with certain people or in certain situations or in certain circumstances or in certain relationships does not mean that others are or will. They just might not. Sometimes I have learned this the hard way. Sometimes the very people that are trying to talk you into behaviors that are in violation of you are completely comfortable with whatever that thing is that they're trying to get you to do or say. It's not a violation for them. It's easy for them. It's normal for them. Why is it normal? Because they're actually being true to themselves. So here's my parting advice to you. Remember who you are. Remember your belief in your value systems. Remember your code of ethics and honor it. Honor it. Don't let go of it just to be pleasing somebody or to be accepted by others. Because while you're over here feeling conflicted, waging war with yourself and in your mind and in your heart, out here just completely miserable, sick about the violation that you committed. Guess what? They are over there at their house completely fine, getting all types of REM sleep at night, okay? Why? Because they're being true to themselves. They're being true to themselves. They're operating in the truth of their own nature. They're behaving true to form. And they're not violating their governances to be in relationship with you. Therefore, you shouldn't be doing that either. From this moment forward, that you watch this video, that you hear these words, my hope is that you never again compromise your standards just to be accepted by someone else. And that you always remain true to that which you know and believe. This has been Walk It Out Wednesdays with Coach T. Until next time, I am the Coach T, and always just be you.